So my friend is here, and he spoke at our conference down in Orlando, Florida this past summer, the men's conference down there. He has been on the Father State, and he's going to be down in Orlando, Florida on October, let me see when it's at, October 23rd. We both will be speaking at the 21 Summit in Orlando, Florida. So check that out by going to rebuildingtheman.com for more information. The Orlando, Florida 21 Summit. You don't want to miss it. It is an honor to know him. He is a tough guy, even though he's not black and he's not white. White on the inside, but Chinese on the outside. Author Kwon Lee is here, award-winning fine painter and previous guest on the Father State. And author has been working on an art collective with the goal of preserving tradition in the arts. And he's Korean. It's Arthur is being a Japanese and a Korean person. Is that the same thing?
Basically. How are you, my Nubian brother?
All is well. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm here in New York City, in the Blue Church, brother, dealing with the radicals every day.
I know. What a mess, huh?
What a mess.
Explain that painting behind you.
Oh yeah, this is a very large painting that I produced. I find it functions well as my podcast or conversation background when I'm in my studio here. So I'm posted up here. There's a lot of classical figures and referring a lot of traditional imagery. And you mentioned the collective that I started. I started this pretty recently. It's called the Genesis Council. And the whole sentiment is that the radical left essentially owns big tech, academia, Hollywood, the art gallery, music and entertainment. So, conservatives really have no place in that conversation.
Yeah.
So we get all this data, this red pill evidence, and 90% of the time it gets thrown into this echo chamber, right? And my conservative values, Jesse, it's really more because these values I have are aesthetic reasons. I understand there's better policy implementation towards family building, welfare, immigration, abortion. I get that. But my values my conservative values are nested on the fact that I don't want my daughter to have blue hair or septum piercing. That. No, really, what I'm saying? Like, I believe in decency and we need to be able to present ourselves with a certain light. And I think we need to be able to justify that to the same extent. And there's no place for artists who are Christians, artists who are conservatives, artists who believe in the country, patriotic artists. There's no place for them to go. So I was looking for a place for them to go for so long. And finally, I just decided to create my own.
Right on.
And yeah, so whether it's Bond or Turning Point USA or Liminal Order or the Genesis Council, like, I look at it as Jesus is William Wallace, right? From Braveheart. Jesus is getting all the different clans together, but we're all fighting the radical left. We're all fighting the English. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I kind of look at it as that spirit. So this is a place for the artists now. The artists can come together and support each other creatively. That's what the Genesis Council is.
That is an amazing idea. I love that. Because I want people to contact you and get involved. We got to build this. How can they get you? How can they reach you?
Oh, just, www.genesiscouncil.com, or if you want to contact me, you just look up Arthur Kwon Lee on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and just reach out to me if you're a student or military or need help with, let's say, because there's a membership associated with it, but it's because membership fees specifically go to programming, getting guest speakers,
right,
having exhibitions. Like, we're utilizing that. So yeah, tune in that way. If you want to reach out to me, that's how you find me.
I'm glad to see it because it's time to start standing up and fighting back rather than running and complaining, because this is a battle between good and evil, and those people on the side of evil, they have a cult. The Democratic Party, the right-o Republicans and the black race hustlers like the Congressional Black Caucus, it's a cult. And it's time for us to start fighting. So I'm really happy what you're doing there. Did you see that, what's the name of that comedian hate you asked me about this morning?
Dave Chappelle?
David Chappelle. Did you see his recent video?
Yeah, it's pretty funny that they're, he's like another one of these non-white public figures who spoke up against the radicalism, and in this case, the LGBTQ radicalism. And they turned on him and they said that he has like this latent, hidden white supremacy in him. And I'm like, he's black. and it's just crazy, but that's all they have. Like the only thing that the left has, whether they're targeting Dave Chappelle, yourself, me, whoever it is, it's all based on this assumption that they have this unearned sense of moral superiority.
Yeah.
That's what it all is based on. So once you can castigate that out of your psychological frame, you realize you're talking to this house of cards.
Yeah. I watched that video over the weekend. It was recommended. And I don't know when the last time I have seen someone be that honest about everything.
Well, I'll tell you right now, like you're always talking about how the black community is in decadence, right?
Yes.
You're totally right about that, because this is what happens when you remove the family and the father.
Yep.
I'll tell you right now, the only following or the community that has those two factors I just said, the family and the father out even further, is the gay community. The LGBT, they're the ones who have no conscientiousness of boundaries or respecting one's space. They're way far off. They're way worse. And people don't want to talk about that.
I know. It's crazy. Why do you think we are a Christian country and Judeo-Christian country? Why do you think the Christians let the radical homosexuals get away with so much?
So I've actually thought about this specific question as to why good men are not speaking up.
Yeah.
Right? I always think about this, right? And I've come to realize, I've been really thinking about it because I've been talking to so many different patriots, people in the Genesis Council. I've been really talking about why is it that people are down low and kind of doing this social camouflaging. And I've come to realize because human beings are way more circumstantial than we like to believe. We like to believe we have full control in all this. But I think most men, like when I went to speak at the men's conference, when I was speaking to all the men there, most of those men were actually tough. Like there's a lot of tough guys there.
Yeah.
But they still wouldn't speak up. And I was like, what is this? You know what it is? It's because as men, the ones who are self-actualized and who know what's right in their heart, we don't need everyone to like us.
Right.
But here's the thing. It's one thing to be disliked and hated. It's quite another to be hated and poor, especially if you have children you're looking out for.
Yeah.
And then the left has supplanted themselves in all these gatekeeping positions where you can lose your job, you can lose your financial security. And so I think that's actually the underlying fear, because they are in that sense cancelable. Like you and I, because we have built and we've had the gonads to do so, we are uncancelable. Like I'm completely independent as an artist. I can speak my mind. You are in the same position, but that's a silver lining. That's what I've noticed. So I understand, but having said that, if you want to be a man in today's culture, you are a defector of the mainstream narrative. The mainstream cultural Marxist story that you're being pushed down from all these mainstream media channels, they don't like who you are. So if you're gonna be like just not just a patriot, but a man, you have to stand up against the dominant narrative anyways.
Yes. That's right. You have to endure anyway and have no fear. And if you have no fear, you're not going to lose. You will win because
That's
God
right.
is with you, and there's no way possible to lose knowing that the Father is with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you have everything Jesse and I are talking about, if you have that in your belly and you're not speaking up and you're afraid of losing your job, you're being a coward.
Absolutely, man.
Being a coward.
One other thing I definitely want to ask you about before we go, our country is so divided today, and you recently encouraged people to love this division or Hold on a minute. My computer light went out. Let me ask Nick because my light went out here. I can't see it. But do you remember you told them to love this division, or is Nick out there at all?
Yeah, you know, Jesse, our society is becoming more and more antithetical and polarized.
Yeah.
It's just true. And there is wisdom in what's going on. If you can look at this from like a bird's eye view and not have your emotions so stuck up on it, the reality is that what has been the strategy from the right side of the aisle? We're essentially hoping the other side has a modicum of decency or conscientiousness, and we're hoping that they'll stop being radical. You know, we're just playing nice, and we have to stop apologizing for what we believe in.
Yeah.
That has been our strategy.
Absolutely.
Because we're hoping that somebody on the other side is going to say, hey, you know, we should not be breaking windows and doing property damage. And that's not going to happen. You give them an inch, you give a mile.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I believe that you do not know what freedom actually is until you have the freedom to offend your enemies.
Absolutely.
You should have the freedom to say whatever you want. You need that freedom. And this is why I'm not trying to pitch it, but this is why I started the Genesis Council, Jesse, because there's no place for, like, whenever, like, I vet every single member. Like, when they come through, I tell them, you know, I had this one artist who just thought it was like a cheaper artist collective or something. So they joined in, and I'm on Zoom with them right here. And they just thought it was an art collective, you know? And I tell them, do you believe in freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, and the family? And he looked at me like, what is this? I thought this was like art collective. And I'm like, it is an art collective, but it's a specific type of art collective.
Yeah.
It's art collective for people who want to stand up for this country and point their brush towards the logos. Use their medium, whatever it is, comedy, acting, filmmaking, John Wayne, baby, whatever it is, go back towards the spirit.
That's right.
And we need to do so because there's so much influence and novelty there that the reason why the left always ends up getting the next generation of young people is because they're ready.
Amazing.
They have all those pillars just ready to get brainwashed them right there. Young people, they're not constantly taking in politics. They're taking in the arts. And if we can control the aesthetics, you know, they go a long way.
I love what you're doing, man, and I really, really wanted to have you on because I wanted to help promote that. I want people to get involved. I want them to contact you at the Genesis Council. I'm sorry? And how can they get you again?
Oh, so if you're gonna go to the if you want to join the collective, if you're a creative and a Christian at that or patron, whatever, we have every level. Go to genesiscouncil.com. That's one. But if you want to just contact me as an artist and you just want to connect or you're interested in my work, whatever it is, it's Arthur Quonley on all platforms. ArthurQuonley.com, Arthur Quonley on Twitter, Arthur Quonley on Instagram, YouTube. But everything Jesse and I are talking about, you know, it's all just about trying to get other men, whatever form it is, to speak up for what's right. And a big pitch that I'm doing, because of my background as an artist, is to have conservatives understand that we need to get into the arts. Yeah. We need to stop apologizing for making content that is frankly higher level.
Yeah.
I keep meeting so many artists, you know, who basically, like, there was a filmmaker I was talking to in the council, and he's told me every time he's made this script, heroic manly stories, right? He's making this film, and somebody on the woke side will say, you know, why don't you cast women? What are you doing? You should be putting, like, don't you want to be progressive? You should be putting gay people. And it's just every single artist who has joined has had this story, Jesse. And you're realizing that's right. The left owns all this.
Yeah.
They completely own all this.
Amazing. And so your paintings, your artwork is amazing. I've seen several pieces of it, and it's really, really amazing. And I do want people to check it out. You're going to be at the 21 Summit at the end of the month down in Orlando, Florida, right?
Next week, it's you and me, brother.
I know. What amazing.
Yeah, it's cool, man. You know, a lot of those guys were already following my art just because of what I was painting.
Yes.
I'm known for painting religious imagery, traditionality, and masculinity. It's all heroes, slaying dragons, Christ. And like this is all I'm painting. You
Yeah.
know, because the artist is supposed to preserve truth and you know, just for the people who don't know art, the point of art, let's get even more basic. The point of art is to fortify the values you're fighting for. That's the point of art.
Yeah.
Okay, so the art should reflect that symbolically or placate that. So when you get art in your home, it's so you can permeate that into your whole home. But the point of art is to reflect all that, okay?
Who is that?
And huh?
Who is that?
This is my dog.
Amazing.
Yeah, I got it for my girl for her birthday because she's a good one, ride or die. So
Right on.
a little birthday present. What's going on with you, Jesse? Talk to me, man.
Just working, busy. I'm
Look
looking.
at your muscles.
So what?
Look at your muscles, brother.
Yeah. So you
Oh,
better
man.
watch. You better watch out. You're going down.
Bring it on, brother.
Arthur, it's good to talk to you, man. I don't want the clock to turn. I mean, the computer to turn us off here, but I look forward to seeing you down in Florida, and I wish you well with the project. It's an amazing project, and
Thank you, sir.
whenever I can be of any help, let me know.
Hey, God bless you, and likewise. We'll I look forward to speaking and sharing that stage with you. And as always, man, I love you, Jesse.
Love you too, buddy. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, man.
All right. Arthur Kwon Lee, folks. Check him out, all right? It's time to stand up. Now is the time to stand up. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.